Welcome back to the stream, everybody. I'm Isaac Rhythm Arredondo,
And I'm Zach Ice Robertson.
and today we have some ESC League of Legends action. Today we got round 4 of ESC League of Legends with your 3-0 Miami University Redhawks taking on the 2-1 Bowling Green State University Falcons.
Yeah, another great start off to the season. This is the first time that Miami has started their season off
Mm-hmm.
3-0 in about probably 3 to 4 years
Yeah.
now. It's been a while. We've always been we hurled over to the first challenge of the season this past Monday against
Oh my
Northeastern,
gosh.
and what a series it was. A 2-1 victory going over to the Redhawks, but we saw a lot of phenomenal gameplay throughout the series.
Yes, we did. I want to talk about Lord Bonk Bonk just for a second. Game 3, pulling out the Hui and going 15-0-6. What a gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And then in the first series, we saw a double Flame Horizon come out from our
Oh my
jungler
gosh.
on the Karthus, able to get a 200 CS advantage onto the enemy jungler. Absolute annihilation. And also a Camille perfect game
Yep.
out of our top laner as well during game one.
Yes, Final Boss of Ohio went 14-0 during that first game on Camille. We also saw that HBTX broke out a Kindred, something we haven't really seen from
Yep.
him in warmups nor regular season just yet. And I thought he played great, especially when they were fighting at Otacon late into the game,
Yes.
and that smite, or sorry, the Lambs Respite saving it from the Maokai smite from Northeastern University. What great games! I'm excited
Yep.
for today.
Yeah, no, and we're off to a great start, like we're mentioning here. Northeastern again being one of the kind of pillars of ESC CLOL,
Mm-hmm.
like of the Esports Collegiate Conference. They've always been kind of one of the teams that is just there in the championship at the end of the year. So getting over them in the first regular season game is super exciting. We're excited to kind of see. I imagine they'll be back in playoffs.
Oh,
I'm hoping
absolutely.
for that rematch. I can't wait to see it. But as we move forward into this week, we have Bowling Green this Wednesday, and then Saturday, I believe, is Akron.
Akron, yes, that's
So
right.
we have two teams that historically Akron did pretty well. They've done pretty well in the past, but this year, I believe they've kind of downsized from their League of Legends
Mm-hmm.
side. So we'll see how good they are. But Bowling Green right now, looking at their kind of lineup, they do have a Masters tier top laner,
Yep.
but everyone else, gold,
Silver,
silver,
yeah.
I think maybe even an iron player that's just getting into the game, which
Hmm. You
is
love to see it. Yeah,
love to see that from, and that's what esports is all about
right.
at college campus is getting everyone engaged and involved. But for Miami, the starting lineup looking tonight, Final Boss of Ohio is going to be subbed out here for Mikey J. Mikey J is going to be in the top lane. We have HBTX still in the jungle tonight. Quagert being consistent in the mid
Mid lane.
lane. And then for the bot lane, Solo, Zach, and Beans going to be representing the bot lane here in game one tonight for the Redhawks. So a little bit of mix from what we've had of Lord Bonk Bonk and Final Boss of
Hmm.
Ohio kind of dominate, having those perfect games in game one and game three. Uh, they're going to be out right now for this first game, and we'll see kind of what the team decides to go for game two.
Yeah,
And maybe a game three. We'll see.
we'll see.
Let's
But
hope not.
oh, I want to see a 2-0 sweep here. Before we get into the games, though, we do have a couple of new patch notes. We got
Yep.
a new patch of League of Legends today. So just a couple quick things to look out for. The attack speed cap has increased from 2.5 to 3. That means that auto attacking champions can now auto more times in a second. So that's big for on hit Varus, on hit Cogball, pretty much all on hit AD carries. Voracious Otacon, his false life respawn timer extended from 5.5 seconds to 15 now, so you're losing a whole 10 seconds now when you die with the false life. We got a couple of champion changes that aren't too big. Evelyn got a little bit of a buff to her E. I mean, that's kind of important for HBTX, but you don't really see that power spike coming in until level 14 and afterwards. The big changes are to our runes, the domination tree. Electrocute damage has increased at all levels. Dark Harvest has increased at all levels with a 50% buff base damage and 25% buff in the scaling damage. And then Halo Blades gives you 30% more attack speed and has a 2 second cooldown shorter. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
No, I mean you covered it very well. I think the Evelyn is what highlights for our roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think is big. I think also some of the ADC with that red tree with the attack speed. We don't play traditional ADCs like that, like Kog'Maw. We typically see that Ezreal.
Yep.
I think Varus. We played Varus last our last game. That might benefit Varus on the on hit side, but we played lethality.
Yes, we did.
So it's we're not really. I don't think that's going to be something that really affects us as a group. But I do think the Evelyn buff is certainly interesting to see for HBTX. I think that the red tree changes is going to be a significant impact to her win rates as we get here into game one draft and we see Karthus immediately taken off the table. And I don't blame them.
I
That
don't blame them
200,
either.
seeing a 200 CS diff in
Yeah.
game one of Monday, and then he's also flame horizoned other junglers in the MAC already on Karthus as well
hmm
in
I'm
other games.
I'm kind of interested to see the Karthus ban coming out first and not targeting HBTX's Shaco, which we have also seen terrorize some other junglers.
Yes.
We also see the Anivia ban coming out. That's going to be targeted towards Quagert. But Miami has banned out Shen, which is Skeptic Wave's most played champion over there on Bowling Green's top lane.
Yeah, so that's an OTP Shen up there, the in the master rank,
hmm
and so Miami is comfortable with getting rid of that OTP and forcing them to kind of play something else that they might not be as good on, right? Mikey J is going to try and get. We'll see if counterpick comes into play,
Yeah.
and then they'll be able to counterpick off of that, and so they'll have a pretty favorable. And they're also getting rid of the Cho'Gath. The
Yeah.
Cho'Gath was played against Ball State. BGSU pulled out that Cho'Gath, getting rid of Caitlyn as well, getting rid of long range, especially for like Ezreal, I
hmm
think is good. We do see that Shaco ban finally coming through, but Belveth
Yeah, it
getting
instantly
picked.
locked Belveth. Surprised not seeing the Evelyn, especially with those new buffs. But I'm excited to see HBTX on something different like this Belveth. I also want to say that Mel has been locked in. We talked about her a little bit last week, the newest champion in the game. We'll explain what she does as we see them in the game. But if she's going into support, I mean, from my experience, Leona has been playing great against her. Mel can't block any of Leona's abilities, and if she reflects the E, it's kind of like a pseudo blitzcrank hook. You just kind of grab her and she comes over to you. We see
Uh,
also the Kaisa being locked in. I believe that's going to be going to Solo Zach here in the bot lane. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and then we get locked down CC on the other side for BGSU and a Mumu picked. First time seeing a Mumu and the Mel here in
hmm
ESC for us. And also a first time Kaisa pick. I
Yeah,
mean, all these are first time picks so far, and I believe Jinx as well. I don't think we've seen a Jinx yet
I have not
either.
seen the Jinx yet.
No, okay, we
We're
get the
getting the Ezreal.
Ezreal.
We've
Okay.
seen Ezreal before. We'll see if Ignis can pilot that as well as Lord Bonk Bonk or Solo Zach can. But let me tell you, we have some great Ezreal players on this team.
And it's interesting. We're hovering the Galio. We've been playing a lot Camille Galio, but
hmm
Galio in itself is such a great champion, and especially with Belveth. Belveth can just dive into that backline and get
Yep.
some a little bit of extra security when diving in. I think is beneficial for HBTX to have that, especially on the magic damage side. When you see Mel, when you have some Ezreal AP damage in there mixed
hmm
in, and some Amumu as well too.
I've also seen Vesuvius play the Samumu quite a bit. I think they broke it out against Ball State. I think they broke it out against Western Michigan in their week
Okay.
before as well. So Vesuvius very comfortable on the Samumu. But let's see what we have going into the second phases of the ban. Waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. What do we got? Volley Bear, another champion that Skeptic Wave pulled out against Ball State last week.
Yeah, so all three top laners, or the top lane champs that we've seen them play against, two against Ball, and then it's really going to be interesting. What do they pick?
Yeah.
Probably a tank because it seems like they are a tank player.
Mm-hmm.
I think for them, interesting. I would love to see an Ornn potentially,
Ooh.
but Ornn, they're kind of putting in themselves into a weird spot with a lot of AP. Right? We do see Leona finally get banned. I
Yeah.
think that is the second time we've had Leona banned throughout any of our drafts, but Leona has been pretty much 100% pick rate pick ban
Mm-hmm.
for Miami. It's been a really good utilized champion for us. We're going to see what we end up finishing out the ban phase for Miami's side here.
I do want to say that Leona ban is a good, smart play from BGSU, especially after the points that
The
I was touching on
Mordekaiser.
earlier. Yeah, the Mordekaiser ban coming out. That's going to be another ban going to Skeptic Wave. I don't know if I've seen him play Mordekaiser before, but I mean, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I would have loved to see them give the Mordekaiser and maybe have a Darius counter
Ooh,
into there.
ooh.
I feel like that's one of the toughest matchups in the game. Uh, is just and I think Darius right now he got a little bit of some buffs too with kind of the rune changes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff too. He's feeling good with the true damage changes for them as well, and that we see a Tryndamere ban come out. I don't think Mikey J is a
I
Tryndamere
don't think I've
player,
seen Mikey J pull out the
but
Tryndamere before.
also I'd be scared of it too,
Yeah,
honestly. Tryndamere, a terrifying champion if they get ahead early. We do see a Vel'Koz hover
playing
get
around.
some poke damage out, as now we're getting a Karma. We've seen Karma a lot
Mhm.
recently, mostly in the mid lane. I'm curious if we see this Galio flexed. This could be a Galio
Support.
support
Yeah, you're right.
with our Karma mid. Quaker has played Karma a couple times already. I don't think Karma support is as strong as it can be in the mid lane, to be honest.
Mhm.
We kind of saw it in the Northeastern game. They played Karma all 3 games, and it it gave them early game advantage, but after that, they kind of just got bursted out super fast.
Yes.
Swain getting locked in though here for the side of BGSU, and their team fight is looking incredible.
It's looking scary if that Amumu can get on you and lock you down with the backup from the Mel and the Swain. I'm curious though if that's going to be a top lane, mid, or support Swain, and where Mel is going to go as well, because she could go
Right?
to the mid lane or to the support position as well. But the Garen being hover here, that's going to be Garen top. I'd assume that's probably going to be a Swain mid and a Mel support. That's my best guess. But Garen just flexing the muscles here. We'll see what if Mikey J's not playing the Galio, what he's going to be playing here.
Yeah, and Garen is such an interesting pick here for the weak side. Garen
Yeah,
too. Be funny enough to see, and yeah,
the Jack's
I
coming
was
in.
absolutely thinking the Jax.
That's a great
Mikey
pick.
J plays Jax a good amount. He loves the AP side build.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us a little bit more AP where Galio is going to be tank. So it gives a little bit more AP while Belveth covers our AD ratio here. Um, but again, Jax hard counters that Q ability from Garen. It makes it a little bit harder for the Garen to play the game.
I do want to say that Jax did receive a couple of buffs on this most
Yeah,
recent
that
patch as
too.
well. His health growth has increased. He has more mana regen, and his ult is a lot stronger now. So we'll see what happens. I like what I'm seeing from Miami. Dive in with the Belvest, like you were saying, Galio on top of it. A lot of peel for that Kaisa as well to just free fire those Acathian rains. So we'll see what happens here in
Yeah.
this next game.
Yeah, Miami playing a very centric comp here with the Kaisa, with the Jax, with the
Mm-hmm.
Belveth. And then that Galio reassurance there of like, oh yeah, I got your back. Don't you worry. We do see the Galio was mid locked.
Yep.
So Quaker has been playing Tank Galio and to be honest, Tank Galio, what is that damage? But he has been phenomenal so far. Hasn't really had the stat lines to be like, oh, I'm like this is my champ, but
Right.
it's
Right.
the impact that he's creating with it is just like
It's
it allowed
unreal.
for that Camille perfect game to
Yeah.
happen for Final Boss of Ohio in that game 1 against Northeastern. So Quagert's really doing the heavy work here for Miami
Yeah.
in the mid lane and being a really crucial part. Our senior mid laner here, he's been consistent all throughout his career at Miami. So I'm excited again to see him back onto this Tangalio.
I have a feeling this game's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath with two dive comms going in at each other, but we'll get that game right to you right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Round 4 of ESC League of Legends. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Rift, everyone. Round 4, ESC League of Legends, Bowling Green State University Falcons versus your 3-0 Miami University Redhawks. It's a great game that we have here. Looking at some runes options, Kaisa opting for the fleet footwork instead of lethal tempo. We've seen that quite a bit. Belveth with the Conqueror, pretty standard. Anything stand out to you?
Mumu doesn't have a pot.
Oh my gosh, Amumu doesn't buy a pot. That's
Uh,
50 more gold on the next back, though.
Yeah, but we do see that Mel in the support role. I'm curious to see kind of how that goes for them. I think once HHHBTX gets on top of the Mel, though, it's going to be a little bit harder
Yeah.
to really reflect anything.
But if this Mel starts reflecting those mantra cues, it's gonna hurt a little bit for Solo,
Yeah.
Zach, and Beans down there.
Yeah, and we see for the side of Miami, we talked a little bit about our senior mid laner here, Jack Quaker. He's currently leading the team in kill participation, so expect some roam plays out of this Galio. Again, the Galio, such a good champion to roam,
Yeah.
especially when you hit that level 6. Expect level 6 roams immediately on the time counter. But he's been exceptional. Again, final boss of Ohio also being one of the, or HBTX actually being second on the team in the kill participation. And we already see an aggressive invade here, going to steal over the Raptors. Red buff. If Mumu doesn't clear this in time, I'm a little bit worried for them.
I think HBTX
they should be able to smite.
Vesuvius should smite this here soon, but that's going to put Amumu back on the back foot just a little bit. HBTX is going to be able to steal away those Raptors and go start terrorizing the Amumu.
He stole the
Level
red.
1, and Vesuvius is forced to flash. HBTX did get the red as well. That is another terrible start for a jungler going up against HBTX. This is a rewind of game 1 against Northeastern.
For a Mumu there, you need to smite it, especially if you saw the ward. If you know the ward is there, and if I mean they banned Karthus out, right? They've seen it, and as we see Mikey J get a little bit overzealous,
yeah.
But is going to go to the alcove, get away from the Garen here. Going to have an interesting level 2 trade though, and Garen just gets to heal this back up. By the way, with the passive of Garen, makes it early trades a little bit better on the favor for the Garen matchup. But I like the aggression that Mikey J's showing though. He's not going to stand down. He's going to try and get some early good trades here for his jungler too, to do what he's about to do right now on the top side river. He's looking to invade once again. He knows this Amumu is struggling, and thanks to the top pressure, he's not going to be able to do anything. And that's another smite steal. He's still level 1 Amumu. I feel for you. You're crying. I'm crying.
Vesuvius doesn't have flash. That's going to be a kill going down to HBTX. Do know that HBTX already did back 2 and bought his boots. This is a terrible start for Vesuvius, especially going up a top tier jungler like HBTX. What a start for him in this game.
I feel bad for the sad mummy. It is going to be a sad game. 16 CS to 0 right now.
HBTX has already doubled Vesuvius's gold. It's 700 to 1400.
I have bad news for the Mumu. You only get wolves here. All your other camps are gone.
Seems like Mikey J just got a little overzealous, and Skeptic Wave was able to take him down there. But yeah, this Amumu is starting in such a bad position, especially when you're building tank and you want those expensive items to uphold your team. If he can't get those soon, HBTX, is just going to run in there and kill everyone.
Yeah, and you see Galio getting some vision down too as well to just continue to help for these later invades that HBTX is just going to continue to go for. I mean, you have full control now if you're HBTX. Actively looking for a mid lane play, no mana on this Swain. Going to force the flash.
Yeah, Quaker teleporting in, seeing if there was a little backup look, but Ziggs just going to flash out of there. Nothing going to come up. But HBTX is just going to go and steal the Raptors away from this Amumu again.
Yeah, the Mumu cannot play the game. They will need help from their support Mel to even try and... what you want to see here, if you are BGSU, you need your Mel to help your jungler at this state of the game. If you're going to not help within the lane, you have an Ezreal, so you can leave the Ezreal. Ezreal is a safe pick here. I understand trying to pressure Miami's bot lane, but we have a Karma. We're going to outlast that damage. So what the Mel needs to do is go try and help this Amumu around the map already.
Mikey J capitalizing on Skeptic Wave, just jumping in a little too far. He's going to get the counter-strike and stunning up Skeptic Wave. Is he going to be able to get the kill? He's sprinting to win, but Skeptic Wave is going to come out of that on top. Mikey J just misplaying that just a little bit.
It's the minion damage. That early game minion damage he was taking an entire wave of damage there in that bush when he couldn't get far away. And it's just the great use of the W from Garen there to tank the E damage from Mikey J.
What a play from Skeptic Wave. He does have the Sheen built, so that is going to give him a little bit extra damage on those Qs, on those autos after he E's. Mikey J is playing off the back foot just a little bit here as we see HBTX going in for another look at Zig, but is just going to back right on out of that one.
I was going to mention it's kind of interesting that he went for the Sheen because you're Garen into a Jax. The Q shouldn't actually hit ever for the Jax realistically with the E, so the Sheen proc really isn't working. I thought attack speed there was going to actually benefit the Garen more, but also cooldown with the does Sheen still have cooldown? I cannot remember. I believe it still does.
I think it has a little bit of cooldown, and I think he's probably going to build that into a Trinity.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought the attack speed was for sure, and that's a ghost play straight in.
Quaker baiting out the ultimate from the Swain, but is just going to be able to walk on out of that one. Beans, meanwhile, is up here from the bot lane, and HBTX, it's 3-on-1 against Ziggs. They're going to start knocking him up. CC chain going, and HBTX going to auto for his life. Ziggs going to get low. The Ignite not going to be able to take him out just yet. He escapes with 48 health. A good look from Miami University.
Mel just saved the life of that mid laner. A heal coming through from the Mel. And something that we don't really see that often as Quaker getting caught out here by the Mel support.
Quaker going to taunt Mel, just going to try to run out of there. I think he has that one, but Mikey J is going to go in on Skeptic Wave. It's the same thing. It's the replay of what we saw just a few minutes ago. Mikey J autoing for his life. The Counter-Strike did stun up Skeptic Wave just a bit ago, but he's going to spin right on out of that one as Beans shows top lane. Interesting, we have Solo Zach going in on Ignis here. Good Acathian Rain, not upgraded yet, so not a lot of damage as you would want to see, but still a good trade in favor of Solo Zach.
An update on the CS as we see Mike J getting close, but the ult coming through from Garen gonna silence Mikey J in the top side, and that's not gonna be beneficial here for top as HBTX does show up. It should be able to find this kill. That's another shutdown goal going to HBTX. They are so far ahead, 2-0, 100 gold shutdown already, but an update on their CS advantage too, 60-18.
HBTX
it is 7 minutes and it is 8 minutes into the game.
It's Amumu finding a bandage toss onto Quaker. He's going to get stunned up and he's forced to just try to walk out of there, but I don't think he has splash or any other resources. He is going to be taken down by Zig right there. What a play from the jungler of BGSU.
Yeah, even though you're down, you're still making plays happen, and that's what you like to see if you're a BGSU fan. Like, although you're down, you get to make the play. The bandage toss was phenomenal out of the Amumu there. And trying to get the dragon here as HBTX does get some plate gold too on the top side.
HBTX is just getting injected with gold though. 2 kills, 65 CS, 2 tower plates. He's feeling really good in the position that he's in. Mikey J though on the top lane is getting a little bit overzealous. He didn't respect that Garen ultimate as much as he should have in that last trade, but I'm sure he'll be able to bounce back from that. HBTX right now, 3,900 gold total. He has 3K in the bank right now. He's going to get a full item the next time he backs, and we're only 9 minutes into the game.
Yeah, he's 2K up on his jungler counterpart, and that's just hard to come back from already at 8 minutes into the game. And your blue buff is already gone once again, and I do like this Amumu reading it. They're going towards potential dive play, trying to steal away some camps that they can. But you also got to be careful because if HBTX shows up and gets a back in right now, there's no way they're living through a full item whatsoever.
Yeah, the heroic entrance on Galio is up as well. So if Amumu does try to dive on Solo Zach and Beans in the bot lane, he'll be able to just jump right in there and maybe turn that thing around. But we'll see. A little bit more fighting in the top lane between Mikey J and Skeptic Wave. Vesuvius just going to back on out of there. I'm surprised.
Yeah, the biggest thing that is in BGSU's advantage right now in this state of the game is that they did get the first feat of strength. They were able to get past the 3-kill marker, whereas Miami still only has 2. Now, Mikey J going to face their 4th death already in the 9-minute mark.
Quaker getting
but Quaker also looking
like
he's going to fall down. Oh,
Zig going to eat a couple of tower shots. Neither of them are going to go down. But again, Mikey J just not respecting that ult from Skeptic Wave. That's a ton of true damage that you can't do anything about. HBTX looking for a move here on Zig. Forced to flash yet again. Great flash from Zig, but that's 5 more minutes that HBTX can just get in there and do whatever he wants to Zig. Stunning up, Kaisa's gonna, oh my gosh, that Karma just got blown up. Solozak in a really bad position here. Is he gonna take down Ignis? He will. A little bit of fighting between
Beautiful
the Mel.
barrier.
Solozak is having great positioning here, dodging all those skill shots, but is still gonna go down in the end. That is 2 kills going onto that Mel, which isn't ideal.
Miami tried to read that Mel had backed and they wanted to make a play onto the Ezreal. The Mel patiently waited in zero vision for Miami, able to come out and then one-shot the Karma, pretty much. And then into Solozak making a very great play. The barrier, phenomenal. But then the Mel taking away his vision while walking into the bush made it so that he couldn't auto-attack her anymore, and then that is going to be the cause of the bot lane fight.
I do want to note, too, that I believe Mikoshi is one of BGSU's mid laners as well. So I think they have flexed Mikoshi down because I saw they played a Malzahar game against Ball State the other week. So it looks like they're trying to bring in like their full lineup for this game, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quaker going to go in on Zig, is going to be able to taunt him, but it's a tank Galio. There's not a lot of damage there, but it's a good trade in the favor of Quaker. HBTX is looking near the grubs, but you do have Garen and Amumu on them. There's not a lot you can do. The heroic entrance from Galio going to come out, is going to knock up Vesuvius, and a great ult from the Mummy. There's a big fight here. Vesuvius is getting low. Meanwhile, Swain's ulting on top of everyone. Mikey J did get a kill, but the Mel is here and is just going to shred everyone. Bean's trying to offer some support, but it's too little, too late. Not a good fight for Miami.
You get the first grub for HBTX, but overall it just ended up not paying out. Again, Mel there on the faster rotate than the Karma was able to get there faster, but also when you're fighting down, Mikey J already down so much to this Garen as well. The Garen already has Stridebreaker. It's like, what can you really do into that scenario where Mikey J was able to pick up their first elimination there, but you're already so far down in a team fight like that with an Amumu, a great, phenomenal Amumu ult as well.
Yeah, fantastic Amumu ult coming out from Vesuvius, but Miami University was able to secure that first grub from that second group of 3, getting them to 4 grubs, getting them those spawns when they attack the tower.
Yeah.
Do note, however, on this new patch, Void Grubs do a little bit less damage for the turrets, but they are still a great resource to have in your back pocket, as it looks like they're going to go in on Ignis, who is able to shift right on out of there. Huge Q from Beans on the back end of that, though.
Yeah. Mel does have her first item as well as this Swain. He has Rylai's, so Miami does need to be a little bit careful here. They do not have the power spikes that they might think. HBTX, obviously, with the 108 to 54 CS advantage, does have that advantage over their jungler, but all the other lanes are down. You have to be aware if you are Miami. Yeah. This might be a case where Miami funneled too hard into HBTX, and then none of the other members are going to be able to fight back. You do have some scaling in this Jax to hopefully get to once he gets the 3rd, 4th item, should be pretty good on the split push. But this Garen being so impactful already in the early game. I do like this Iceborne Gauntlet build, though, that Mikey J has gone for, and he's chunking down Skeptic Wave here.
Yeah, I think the Iceborne Gauntlet is a great adaptation to the build, but it looks like HBTX and Quaggart are going to go in on Zig. Beans is here to offer some support, but that is a lot of draining of the damage coming out from Zig. On the top lane, Mikey J is going to go in on Skeptic Wave and is going to get the solo kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they're able to back out of that one. No healing reduction on the side of Miami University yet, so that Swain is just going to suck up so much damage and heal so much from that. The Iceborne Gauntlet, though, coming in huge for Mikey J.
Yeah, Mikey J said, I only need 1 item to make a difference here now. It's the Iceborne Gauntlet, for sure. It makes Garen so hard to play around against Mikey. It's that enhanced auto with the slow on the ground is just making it so hard for him to really spin to win. As we might see a player disconnection here, we might have to cut back to a technical break. But right now, if you're BGSU, you're pretty happy with this game state. As bad as it started here for their jungler, I mean, we saw the sad mummy tears coming out. That red buff, pew, that blue buff gone. No answer. Starting off 16-0 in the CS department, I mean, I would be out of the game. I'd be FFing immediately.
I'm all chatting FF15. Get me out of this game. but they have recovered well. And Mel
Yes.
has 3 kills over there and was able to buy a full Ludens as well.
Yeah.
So that Mel's going to be doing a ton of damage. I also want to note that Queggert did opt to buy a Dark Seal during the laning phase and has 1 stack of it. Interested to see where that goes, especially as we see Galio more of or Queggert's Galio is more of a tank player, not really of this AP mage trying to get in kills. What do you think of that?
I think Dark Seal is a good buy. I think mostly for the movement speed
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it. When you're playing Galio, you're kind of a slower champion in design, but when you're an engaged tool for Miami, you kind of need to be caught. You need to catch up to a lot of these champions.
Yeah.
And so I think not only the AP bonuses, but I think it's a fair investment for now. We'll see how the rest of it goes. I think Swain overall has been just so tanky that we haven't been able to. They've been caught out 3 or 4 times, forced flash,
Mm-hmm.
2 times now, and overall the ult just keeping them alive it's crazy to watch, to be honest. But it's also because we're picking tank Galio.
Right.
We're ganking a tank Galio, not someone that really does damage like what a Mel would be
Mm-hmm.
doing if they were in the mid lane. So there's trades, there's trade offs with doing that. Um,
I'm interested to
yeah.
see how this game goes the later we get too, because
Yep.
Jax, great scaling champion, great adaptation with the Iceborne Gauntlet, but will only get stronger as the game goes on. Along with that, Kaisa, who's going to get those evolutions on her Q, W, and E, and is going to be terrorizing the bot lane with those. I mean, if you get hit with a W from Kaisa when you have a Gnasher's Tooth and maybe a Death Cap, that's 800 damage. You're getting chunked out. You have to go back to base immediately, and she's firing another one at you 4 seconds after she just did. It's
Right.
you don't want to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, and we'll see Miami's game plan as we get later into the mid game of Rift Herald spawn is
Mm-hmm.
about to come up. We're going to see Miami is on Drake advantage, I believe, but BGSU has a potential of taking this game one through feats of strength. Like if
Yeah.
they're able to get this first turret, Miami's looking in a little bit of trouble because those feats of strength they increase the probability of winning by a good amount.
Yeah.
The stat bonuses that you get from being able to buy those the boot extension, it's just it's a lot, and I think it would benefit a lot of their champions too with the Garen and with Mel getting some extra AP bonuses already starting
Mm-hmm.
off 3-0. It's scary. So Miami definitely needs to, if they're able to pressure and get Rift Herald, get first tower, and Miami should be on pace of getting this the objective feat already.
Right.
So Miami, I think it's this game really is determined by this next couple like 5 minutes of gameplay to see
I
where
agree.
who wins the feat of strength and or the feats, and
Mm-hmm.
then from there, kind of it's going to be reliant on team fighting. But I really do think the winner of this match is going to be reliant on the feats.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be a great game. I'm excited to see what happens, but we are going through a couple of technical difficulties. But we're going to go to a quick break, but we'll get the game back to you as soon as we can. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Unfortunately, due to the technical difficulties, we do not have the ability to go back to what the game state was at when we left. We are 8 minutes now. Miami super far ahead now. Within those last 8 minutes, they have taken advantage. Ivori quick blades built out for Mikey J as we dive in to the Swain. Swain forced the flash. Mikey J looking for more, but Mumu coming out. That's going to be dangerous for Mikey J. Mikey J going to probably fall to that turret, but Solozak on the other side able to get the Mel. Mikey J lived through all of that damage, but wow, Miami cooking off to the start. 16-13 now, and I think HBTX might have taken over.
What a sequence to get back in this game. We do see that Mikey J on that Jax has gone up to 8-5-3. The Kaisa has gone up to 5-3-2. And Miami University was able to claim 2 of the 3 feats that you needed and have the feats of strength. You can see some of the basic boots, the tier 2 boots got their slight upgrade, and they do have that option to upgrade even further into that tier 3. But Miami University has taken full control of this game. They've built a 5K gold lead, had 2 Drakes. They're turning things around over here.
And look at the build for Mikey J here. You have the Iceborne Gauntlet into Flicker Blade into Fimble Winter.
Yeah, that's a crazy
which is
build.
An insane build, but it is working to perfection, it looks like. We do see Fimble Winter also built out on the Swain, which I feel like is pretty interesting. Force of Nature actually being the first built item here on the Galio, something that we haven't really... typically, I thought the Galio would go the Bammy Cinder tank item, or you go Unending Despair, but I believe Unending Despair got nerfed, correct?
I believe so, but I think that Force of Nature is a really good adaptation to this build. You see the Amumu getting some damage. You see that Swain's dealing a lot as well. And the Mel in the bot lane has also been dishing out tons of damage. So I think that's a really good adaptation to help, just support the team a little bit more. We did see the Ezreal going down at that dragon fight with HBTX securing yet another Cloud Drake. It is a Cloud Soul this game. It did get nerfed slightly, 10% on this new patch, but I think it still is a great soul to have, especially on a comp that just wants to get in there, especially on a Kaisa, as we see some action going here on the mid lane. Zig not going to be able to get anywhere out of that. They're just going to go down.
Yeah, HBTX just ruling over the Rift right now. I mean, look at the CS advantage. Already a Flame Horizon, looking potentially at another double Flame Horizon game in the ESC. Absolute dominance here from our jungler at Miami. As what can Amumu really do, as he's trying to prevent Mikey J from even getting remotely on the split push. Mikey J might have gone a little bit too far, is able to dodge.
I do want to say, Mikey J has gapped everyone levels. He is 16, meanwhile that Amumu's at 12, that Mel is at 11, and that Garen's at 14. He's just been split pushing for his life as Miami University is able to take that Baron with the pressure that Mikey J has built up in the bottom lane.
The last 8 minutes of Mikey J in Game 1 will be the worst archived material lost in all of our history. However, he was able to flip this game around and make it so that he is now 9-5-3 after starting the game 0-4. It will be missed. It's tragic.
Mikey J, a legacy game that we'll never get to see. That is so unfortunate. But he's 9-5-3, has a 550 gold bounty, and Miami is just putting unrelenting pressure on Bowling Green State University. They are unable to recover from where they are right now.
And ignore the audio cue you might have just heard, but we will see Ezreal on the 2-item power spike now for the side of BGSU. But man, HBTX being so far ahead, the engage tool that they do have, it's going to be very hard for BGSU to fight a lot of these fights. You're going to have to try and play around a lot of this poke that you've drafted, but when your poke is behind and your engage is also
huge fight breaking out here. Garen going to be able to find Solozak in the back. He's able to just Killer Instinct on out of there while Mikey J can just leap strike onto a ward to escape. Bean's forced to flash, but with that big engage from Bowling Green State University, they're able to do nothing with that, and HBTX is able to take that bottom tower and the inhibitor, and maybe even some lives on the way out. He takes down that Mel and is even going for more. Vesuvius getting low, taken out by Beans' Karma. Some shots being fired out from Kaisa. but all those members of BGSU are getting real low as Miami University is just going to storm this base. Mikey J just going to destroy that Ezreal as soon as he gets on him in a double kill as he takes out Zig as well. They're chasing Skeptic Wave into the base, but they're going to take down both Nexus towers, and they're going to take out that Nexus as well. That is a decisive Game 1 victory for Miami University. What a game coming up from the Redhawks. I don't know what happened in those 8 minutes that we lost, but boy, I wish we were there to see it.
Mikey J turnaround, jumper,
Oh
swish.
my
I mean,
gosh.
absolute baller performance out there from Mikey J. I was skeptical there in the first couple minutes. He was taking those aggressive early trades against the Garen, but that is a great time to do that as the Jax, to really kind of assert your dominance in what can be a hard lane
Mm-hmm.
for a Jax. But um, he was able to take the master tier player, obviously banned out a lot of their champions, but able to really show off the mid game to late game skill that they bring to the table. HBTX, another dominant performance that's absolutely crushed. I mean, that level 1 play, or the level 2 to level 1 play between the Mumu, it might go down in Miami history. That's a crazy feat to do, is be up around 20 CS or immediately right off the bat, and your enemy combatant is 0.
It
So
it hurts
it
when I
hurts to
see
watch.
it hurts to watch, but HBTX is just such a dominant jungler. We've seen him do this to Bowling Green. We saw him do it to Northeastern. We've seen him against Eastern Michigan. It doesn't matter who HBTX is playing, he's going to gap them no matter
Yeah,
what. I do want to say again that Iceborne Gauntlet I think was the turning point
it
for Mikey
was.
J in that top lane. He was what 1-5, 0-5, but as soon as he bought the Iceborne Gauntlet, he was able to go ban for ban with that Garen and was able to take him down too.
Yeah, the Garen didn't know what to do after the Iceborne Gauntlet was built. The Garen, when getting slowed, needs to use the Q to get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't. They were using it to kind of engage tool instead. And although giving it to Garen, they were up. Why
Right.
wouldn't you think that
Right.
you win that after the fact? You're an item and a half advantage up on, or you were half an item up on Mikey J there, and Mikey J able to flip the fight with the Iceborne Gauntlet and have excellent spacing throughout, and the use of the E, really ended up winning that solo kill that we did catch on camera. Now, how he got 4 levels ahead of the other laners,
We'll never
we
know.
will never know. But again, a dominant performance there from Miami in game 1. Uh, a little shout out to the Kaisa and Karma. I think also it worked out pretty well, even
Mm-hmm.
though the Mel started out a 3-0.
Yeah.
The Kaisa played very, very exceptional, made some great backline plays. So I did really like the dive comp that Miami produced. It made it very hard for BGSU to come back once they were ahead.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into game 2 draft here very shortly. Don't go away. We'll be here for game 2 soon.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are in the draft, and Bowling Green State immediately paying respect to HBTX and banning out that Belveth.
Yeah, and then we see the Shen ban come out again. I think as long as Miami's on red side, they're going to get rid of that Shen.
Absolutely.
I heard maybe that potentially if we go blue side, there might be a little bit of a different plan, but Cho'Gath being the second ban, Shaco not getting played in the ESC, unfortunately. They do not want HBTX on his main,
Oh
so
no, they don't want HBTX on anything. All three bands being thrown over to HBTX. But guess who's still up? That's right, new buffs, new rune buffs. Evelyn's still there. We'll see if HBTX
that
locks
is
that
true.
in. But Caitlyn ban going to be the last one coming out from Miami University, and they're again hovering that Mel first pick, and it's going to be locked in. What do you think of that?
I think the Mel was fine. I think Mel was good overall for BGSU. Just when you have so much dive on the side of Miami, it was very hard to play when you're that far down.
Mm-hmm.
And you need and as we speak of the devil, or not in this case, but
But
pretty close. We get the Evelyn that we've been hoping for here. So I'm really excited to see this. They also left up Quaker and Nivea. We saw that band
ooh,
out in the first phase last time, and now we get to see Leona pick too. We're gonna first pick the Leona out so that they can't ban it in the second round. I like that out of Miami.
I'm already feeling a little bit more comfortable
Yeah.
With Miami's plan going into this next game, picking champions that we've seen them pilot before, have great success on before. So we'll see if that continues going into the rest of this draft. Bowling Green here gonna hover another pick. I assume this would probably just be a Mumu run back for Vesuvius, but we'll see. As Kane,
Wow. Oh,
Diana gonna
okay.
be locked
Okay.
in. Kane did get a little bit of a buff on his
Right.
Q this last patch, but Diana gonna be locked in.
Yeah, I think this Mel is also good because it's a flex pick for them. They can play it mid if they need to, if they need to lock in and engage support, which I think they should.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a good flex pick for them here in the mid lane, but I think Jack, either way, they're comfortable if they go Nivea here or really anything. As the Zaya's picked out, I think that's a great pick here, but also kind of weird because now Miami can ban out the supports that really go well with Zaya.
Yeah, and Zai's on a pretty good champion that's playing into a dive comp. It's going to be great safety going up against that Leona. Going to be great safety going up against that Evelyn. We see the Jinx going to be locked in. That's a new champion that we haven't seen. But with these new attack speed buffs, if she gets one kill,
Yeah.
she's going to go crazy on the Rift.
Yeah, and Jinx has always been one of those really hard, unbalanced champions that
Yeah.
Riot has always struggled with balancing. And so I could see this new buff of the attack speed really helping her out. Again, the lockdown here from Beans on the Leona has been excellent so far. 100% win rate, I believe, too.
Yes.
So Miami's feeling really comfortable. We see the Swain. Don't want to play against that Swain mid once again. I think it was really tanky and now we do see the Anivia. So now that we get to the second ban phase, we didn't pick out Jack's or Quagert's mid pick. They're going to get rid of that Anivia for sure. I think just overall his ability on that Anivia is just incredible. Going to take away that from Miami. But again, we'll see if that second ban's for Galio. I imagine so. Galio has been so good for us as well, and we can still use it with the Invis, the Evelyn, or even the Leona as
Yeah,
well.
Miami paying
Garen gone
a
as
little bit more respect to Skeptic Wave with that Garen ban, but I think that Swain ban was a great adaptation for Miami. The Swain kept HBTX being able to get Quaggart super ahead in that mid lane, kind of stalling out the inevitable against
yeah.
HBTX. But I think that's a great adaptation from Miami, kind of playing to HBTX's strength. And I think we might see a little bit more mid top focus here, letting,
Wow.
Solo Zach just kind of scale up. But Skeptic Wave and Bowling Green going to pay respect to Mikey J banning out the
Yeah,
Jacks.
both top laners from the last game banned out, but I think that we get the
Ooh,
Oriana. I'm really happy with the Oriana here. Evelyn Oriana, Leona Oriana. You can surprise. It's very surprising.
yeah.
So I think Oriana's in a good spot too. It's been pro picked a good amount. Um, I think BGSU, if they pick a tank here, they might be in for a surprise out of Mikey J.
Hmm.
This is going to give Mikey J the counter pick on this red side. If it's a tank, I think I already know what Mikey J is throwing out.
I
So
think I
we
have
do
a
get they
feeling
do get
too.
we do give them the Rakondo with the Swain and Garen band. So we get the traditional Zaya Rakan, but and look at that. I mean, it looks
It
perfect
looks
on the
great on the screen.
screen. So we'll see what tank they decide to go for here on the BGSU side. But what was the
Ooh,
other tank that they left up? The
the
Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser, yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Now, Mikey J, I think if it was another tank, the Yumi Hover, excellent.
That's gotta be Trill.
It has to
That's gotta
be.
be Trill. There's no way that's being locked in. Beans, please pick something else. I do want to say Rakan did get a little bit of a buff on this patch too. His W cooldown got decreased by 2 seconds, so you can
Yeah.
go in a little bit more often.
I'm just saying
The
Darius is up, by
the
the way.
Trindamere going to be locked in for Mikey J. Interesting. Banned out last game. So we get a new top lane matchup, a new bot lane matchup. We got new matchups all across the board. These are 10 new champions that we see being played this game from the last one.
Yeah, and that flex pick for the Mel worked out in BGSU's favor. They end up playing it in the mid lane, but I think Jax should still feel pretty comfortable into it. I don't think you can bounce reflect shockwave, so
No, I don't think you can.
I'd be very curious
I
to
don't
see
know
that.
if you can reflect the ball at all.
Yeah, but I get you're delivering the ball with Mikey J with HBTX going in invisible. You also have Beans there, a traditional engage tool
Hmm.
for Miami. Miami clear vision pathways of engage, whereas BGSU, your engage pattern is really going to be focused on that Rakan quickness and the Diana going in and trying to get some massive ultimates around the objectives.
Yeah. And we've seen
But
Quaggart
yeah,
break out this Oriana before to some pretty great success, but this Jinx is providing a lot of late game security, late game safety for Miami
absolutely.
University. But if Solo Zach can get ahead on that Jinx early, and if HBTX gets in there, it's going to be a bloodbath in the bot lane. It's going to be a bloodbath all over the map, and Miami could just stomp them.
Yeah. And again, Jack really playing the pivotal role of just being the glue
Right.
for Miami's comp. Whether it's the Galio that's providing the extra shield or the extra engage, or it's the Oriana or the Karma that's providing that extra shielding to help the carries for Miami continue to push forward.
Hmm.
It's he really does play such a pivotal role for this Miami comp. So we're going to head to a quick break, but we'll be back ready to go for game two in just 1 minute. Don't go away.
And welcome back to the Rift, everyone. We did have a little bit of a technical difficulty, only losing 2 minutes of gameplay, this time a lot better than 8, and Mikey J didn't seem to do anything crazy during that time. We do see a little bit of action going in on the bot lane already. Ignis going in on Solo Zac, but able to get the stun. Beans, huge play. Solo Zac chasing for that kill, isn't going to be able to get it, and they're turning on to the Rakan. Quaker just going to auto zig down. First blood going over to that Orianna.
Yeah, no first bloods, luckily, in the 2 minutes that we did miss, and it looked like mostly control. But I will point out that Evelyn steals all of Diana's top side here. Diana, no blue buff, no thing, and we're looking at a level 3 gank towards. And Mordekaiser already lost his escape duel. He's going to be forced to flash. No red buff, so no slow, but Mikey J going to flash now too, and that's another kill over to Miami. HBTX going to take it.
HBTX just doing what HBTX does best, invading your jungle, taking your camps, and killing your top lane. That is a great way to start off this game for HBTX. And this Evelyn is only going to get stronger as the game progresses thanks to those new buffs.
Yeah, an interesting ward there from the Diana. The Diana goes over to Rift Turtle Pit and wards over the wall, trying to get any kind of vision, but I have bad news. You're against an Evelyn. You really need a control ward in that bush if you really want anything.
Vesuvius looking at a look at Mikey J, but he's just going to be able to spin and get on out of there. Great awareness from Mikey J.
Yeah,
sorry.
And the vision control really towards the top side for BGSU now with, look at the vision. I mean, it's great vision, but you're against Evelyn, and if you don't have it on their camp, then you really don't have anything. Bean's a great engage, but we also see something towards the top side of the map.
Bean's getting caught a little bit out, but Solo Zac able to just lay some autos down on Mikoshi and then eventually on Ignis, but that's going to be a little bit more of a favorable trade in favor of BGSU. Meanwhile, Vesuvius is going to find an angle on Quaker, and he is going to go down, unfortunately. We saw a little bit of skirmish on the top lane as Beans goes in again with the shock from Jinx, able to take that down. Meanwhile, another gank on the top lane, another kill for Mikey J, and the bot lane is going to finish the job. A lot of action going on in this game, but Miami University, first team to 3 kills, going to get the feat of warfare, one step towards the feat of strength.
Yeah, crazy amount of action. HBTX, I love the play call there. You know that the Mordekaiser just blew their flash in the last engagement that you did. As we see another engage here on the replay. HBTX, they're going to dive underneath the turret. He's going to tank the tower shot for his Tryndamere. Tryndamere now going to, that's a ton of wave XP gold that Mordekaiser is now down to the Tryndamere in the top side too. And HBTX, not only you got all the bots, all the top side jungle from your enemy, but now you get to go reap your benefits from your bot side as well, because they did not read it correctly, and they did not take advantage of HBTX not being towards that bot side of the map.
Yeah, just great awareness all around from HBTX. I mean, I feel like every other sentence we say is something great about this guy, as Matoshi is going to look for a little action in the bot lane, but Solo Zac just going to sidestep.
I will say BF sword on the Jinx early. Huge purchase already off the bat. It's going to be hitting pretty hard onto this Rakan and Xayah if they do get engaged on by Beans.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out from those zaps, from those rocket autos too. If Beans can get on to the Xayah or this Rakan, it's going to be bad news bears for the bot lane. Meanwhile, Mikey J able to slow down Skeptic Wave as HBTX comes up. It's going to get the charm. Mikey J just going to auto activate the lethal tempo. Is going to get another kill onto Skeptic Wave.
Yeah, and I have bad news for the Mordekaiser. You cannot be stepping up anymore, especially after you have burnt your flash. Your E-engage or disengage tool is the only thing that they're using, and it's so hard to predict when the Evelyn's going to come in with that charm. Now, gives free tempo towards the top side. Another wave lost here for the Mordekaiser to the tower, and you get grubs for free for Miami. As we do see a good trade here, though, from the Diana on BGSU side. They're going to go ahead and get the first Drake on the bot side, River.
That top lane is a lawless land, and it belongs all to Mikey J right now. Skeptic Wave in just a terrible position. Down 10 CS. Mikey J has 2 kills. You do not want to be that Mordekaiser right now. But great awareness from the BGSU jungler, being able to secure that first strike of the game, denying it from Miami. As we have some action on the bot lane, Beans going to be able to stump up Mikoshi, and Solozak is just going to be laying down those autos, and you can see each one of those is just chunking. It's going to be a kill for Beans. Meanwhile, HBTX going a little bit deep onto Skeptic Wave is going to is going to put ultimate out of there. Not going to die from that turret. He took a couple of turret shots from that. He was getting real low. I got scared for a second. Looking for a re-engage. HBTX looking for the charm, is going to land it, but just can't dive under that tower with how low they are right now.
Yeah, and I have bad news for the Mordekaiser, because you still have Tryndamere ult on the side of Mikey J. He did, and Mordekaiser no longer has ultimate. I believe they blew the ultimate while we were away from them on towards the bot side of the map. Mikey J definitely has priority here still, being up to 0.
Yeah,
and
Ignis.
HBTX still going.
Flash
is up for the Mordekaiser here, though, I will mention.
HBTX going in, looking for that charm again with the allure. Is going to miss it on the Q, but you know what? We've seen it again and again. Another kill for Mikey J. They are just feeding this man up in the top lane. That Viking is having a feast right now.
Yeah, and you have plated steel caps as the first item here for the Mordekaiser, trying to be more defensive, but I have bad news. You're already down so much, and the Evelyn, that magic damage is just slicing through him with the, and we do see ult come out though.
Big shockwave from Quager, a little bit late on the reflective ability from Zig on that Mel, but just a huge dissonance that's going to be able to take out Zig. Quager autoing Mikoshi, excuse me, is just going to be able to get out of there. Ignis getting stunned up by the Zenith Blade from Beans, does have the Feather Storm and the Blade Recall, but the Solar Flare is going to miss as Ignis flashes in a big zap on the back end of that trade.
Yeah, I was going to say, I felt bad for Quager there. I thought it was going to be another solo kill missed because the support ended up showing up. But Miami, he was able to find it. And I like Miami's play call earlier, but I don't like this one now because you're kind of getting a little bit too greedy now that the Rakan is back onto the bot side of the map.
Beans and Solozak getting a little too aggro there, a little bit of disrespect with the emo and not paying respect to Ignis's Feather Caller, or Feather Storm rather. Is Beans going to go down here? No, she has so much health. She's just going to be able to back out of that one. But kind of a unusual move from our bot lane on that play.
When Quager, when you saw the Rakan go mid and Quager was able to pick up that solo kill, I liked Miami's idea of like, oh, the Xayah is out of position. We can pick her as well because she won't have a support there to help them out. But then it just was two-time, and look at HBTX, just this top lane is brutal right now for the Mordekaiser.
Building up some of that fury, maybe looking for a little something on Skeptic Wave, and HBTX is here to support. HBTX taking some tower shots while Mikey J is just going to take down a play. Is he going to turn? He will. HBTX just biding time. Will ult out of there. Skeptic Wave on the immediately flash to follow up, but doesn't cover enough distance. Another kill for Mikey J as Quager is trading again in the mid lane, but Zig with some great potion popping, living at 60 HP. Quager looking for more. The ball is dangerous. Will the dissonance come out? And great reflect from Zig and backup from Vesuvius. Quager has no option but to back out of that trade. Great awareness from the BGSU jungler right there.
Yeah, Skeptic Wave almost turning around that top fight as well. And
the super mega death rocket from Solozak in the bot lane is going to secure the kill. What an ult from that Jinx. A little bit of trading happening here. Zap going to go wide, and things seem to calm down, except here on the top lane. We've seen this again. Mikey J and HBTX just putting Skeptic Wave through the pain chamber. There's nowhere for him to go. Another kill for that Tryndamere. 5-0, 10 minutes into this game.
And what can you do if you're Skeptic Wave? You just burnt your flash aggressively to try and finish off the Evelyn after you also used your ultimate under the tower to make it a 1v2. You weren't able to find the kill on the HBTX. Now they know your ult cooldown is on a 40 to 50 second timer. Your flash cooldown is even on a longer timer because you aggressively used it. Okay, we'll be right back in your lane. See you next life. This has been unrelenting.
Vesuvius trying to take a little bit away from HBTX, but a great roam from Quager is going to deny some of that. It is just going to get blown up by Quager. Great awareness from the Miami University mid laner. Meanwhile, Mikoshi, Ignis, and Zig are all here trying to take down the Zenith Blade going on to Zig. Mel can't reflect that ability. Meanwhile, Solozak is just able to free fire. He's going crazy right now. Those autos are doing a whole lot. Featherstorm coming out from Ignis. Will we see the Blade Recall? We haven't seen it yet, but another lot of damage coming in from this Miami University team. Mikey J, Undying Rage, is going to be able to stay alive for a little bit. And wow, what a turn from Miami University. That is 4 kills for 2.
It is 12 minutes into the game. It is 17-5. We have seen 22 kills in 12 minutes, and a large amount of it coming from the top side area.
Yeah, 7-0-2, 2-0-7. I have a feeling those two stat lines are pretty heavily correlated at the moment. But Miami University is able to secure the feats of strength. We take a look at this replay here. I mean, just great awareness from Queg, able to throw the bubble. Great shockwave on the bot there, seeing Zig and Ignis coming out, buying a little time for Solo, Zach, and Beans to get up there. But man, that Mel is doing a lot of damage. What a great Featherstorm and recall by Ignis as well, buying the team a little bit of time. Just a great trade all around, though, from Miami University.
Yeah, and on the offside of the replay, we do see Drake get taken there. And it's going to be a now Hextech Soul here. But again, that benefits us, especially the Tryndamere, who is currently 7-0-2. Also, to keep in mind, the boots of strength, the feats of strength are accomplished here for Miami, and Tryndamere already has the upgrade.
Yeah, this Tryndamere is looking really scary with the Blade of the Ruin King completed as well, along with those Berserker Greaves. His autos are going to be fast, and they're going to hit real hard. Solo Zach trying to save this turret. A little bit of action happening in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Beans is going to be able to stump Vesuvius, who was just forced to walk up out of there. HBTX did opt to buy the Darksteel as well. We've seen this before, but Quegger and Mikey J are just going to be able to siege down this mid turret. There's nothing they can do. Beats going real deep onto the bot lane of BGSU. Solo Zach just trying to get away from those feathers as he doesn't get stunned up. Solar Flare going to go wide and miss, but they're going to gauge right on Solo Zach. He's going to get real low, but has so much damage that's going to get a double kill. Unfortunately, doesn't live, but what a great positioning, what great kiting, what a great move from Solo Zach down in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's going to force all the summoners there too, from the side of BGSU. Again, Miami, this game's already looking over the series, looking potentially over, as Mikey J's just going to use that A key and keep attacking, pressing this Mordekaiser. What can Mordekaiser really do as trying to save this turret, but now you just used ult to deal an 8 of HBTX's health there, and just gets healed back up, and Quager chunking Zigwa, who has no mana currently.
Oh my gosh, Shockwave going onto Zig. Great reflect to deny the auto getting the kill, but those dissonance orders from that Orianna are doing a ton of damage to that Mel. Quager going, or Mikoshi getting a little deep, but Beans and Solozak able to provide some backup. Are they going to look for more? Who knows? Meanwhile, Skeptic Wave in the top lane isn't safe as long as Mikey J has the Undying Rage up. Beans going deep, Solar Flare going to land onto Vesuvius, but not a lot of follow-up. Is just forced to back on out of that one. Miami University playing this map real well.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes on Drake. Miami really already pushing the tempo. You have 9 minutes till Baron spawn. I will say BGSU does have 2 of the first dragons, but with the gold lead that Miami already is up, you're already up nearly 9K at 15 minutes into the game. That's pretty insurmountable. I've seen solo queue games do this, but in team play, it's very hard to get around.
Have you ever seen those videos of people putting the wedges into Parmesan cheese and cracking the wheel right open? That's kind of what I'm seeing Miami do right now to BGSU. It is an absolute slaughter right now. Rift Herald is going to be online, but Miami University has full control of the map. We are 16 minutes in, and they have deleted all of the outer turrets on the map.
Yeah, and ADC is the only position right now that doesn't have a CS advantage on the side of Miami. And Miami's CS advantage on top side sitting relatively around 60 CS. You get towards that jungle side 240 CS. It's just that carries out. And now, again, what can you do to this Tryndamere? Mikey J, unrelenting, legendary in this
Meanwhile,
game.
some engage going in on Mikoshi here in the mid lane. Solar Flare being used, and Quager's going to be able to secure the kill. Solo Zach getting a little bit deep. Meanwhile, Vesuvius comes up to block Mikey J from doing anywhere, but he has the Undying Rage and is just going to get that kill. Mikey J looks like Anakin Skywalker storming the Jedi Temple right now. You cannot stop this man.
He is unbelievable these last 2 games. He has played it so well after what was a rough first couple minutes in that first game. He's truly turned it around. This game, with the help of HBTX, has made the Skeptic Wave just not even a champion. I would say potentially even a ward on the map right now for BGSU. It's and what can you really do? That ult is going to be the only saving grace you have in a team fight. But when Miami is ahead on the other side of the map with the ADC and the Quager as well, like they should be able to just burst through the Mordekaiser now that they're so behind.
Yeah, HBTX and Mikey J just going to go up and secure that Rift Herald. But Mikey J, his autos are doing so much damage. I feel like it just takes 4 to delete 1 member on the map. It doesn't matter who it is. His crits are doing so much damage.
We see Mejai's purchased by HBTX. We see Trinamir get that Flicker Blade as well. Miami hitting their 2 item power spikes right now, right before this Drake spawn.
You know, this Mordekaiser is trying to take the bottom tower of Miami, but has no vision around the area. He doesn't see anybody right now. Vesuvius going a little bit deep, but Beans is able to lock him up immediately, just deleting him from the map. Skeptic Wave going in on Quager, but with the thanks of the turret, Quager is going to be able to secure that kill. Meanwhile, Mikey J just putting unrelenting pressure on the top lane. It is not looking good for BGSU.
And I respect it heavily from the Mordekaiser. You have to make a play. You have to try and do something. Unfortunately, you're trying to do it underneath the bot side turret. I think if Quager's a little bit pressed up there, a little bit further, that ult would have been good. It's just the turret shots on top just were not good enough. You're also pressing a 2 item power spike Quager here on the Orianna.
Zach, I don't know if you saw it, but Mikey J is 6K gold up that Mordekaiser. That is not what you want to see, especially when you have such an AD heavy, such a carry heavy champion like Tryndamere being piloted by him. Zig, a little bit danger here, but Quager is going to be able to secure the kill. Zenith Blade going to go wide, Solar Flare going to go wide, but Evelyn is going to be able to secure the kill, get 2 kills. Great play by Miami University, 3 for 0, and they are going to be able to get that bottom tower at the back end of this play.
Yeah, and it is interesting. We talked about the new red tree changes. We saw that he goes Dark Harvest here instead of Electrocute. I was really hoping to see the Electrocute, as we do see a flash play here that is going to find Quager, but that might just have costed you your life.
HBTX just dealing half the health bar with 1 ability. That's the life of the ADC right there. We have a little bit of a replay. Quager getting not caught out, but baiting a little bit for HBTX, who's able to come in, do a little bit of damage, secure some kills. Just great awareness by Quager, knowing that his jungler was coming down, and just great backup.
HBTX just melted the Mordekaiser, by the way, in the live feed. HBTX 7-0-10 now, 25 stack Magi. You have Dark Harvest as well. You're just continuously scaling here, but I would have loved to see the Electrocute personally, because I think with the Electrocute, you actually melt them like butter completely. But Dark Harvest 2 is really good, so it's, again, 9K gold there on the side of HBTX. Yeah, keep in mind, 9K gold to 29K gold for BGSU only has across the entire team.
This is not a great game if you're BGSU. Miami University just going to be able to take Otacon. BGSU has no vision on the map whatsoever. They don't see anything. That is going to be a free take for Miami University. It was the Ruinous Otacon, so they are going to get, they don't have the False Life, but they do have all the Rose Petals that are going to give them even more damage and ability power in this game.
Yeah, which they did give over to the Jinx.
Yes. Zach is looking real big as Evelyn just goes in and deletes Ignis. That Feather Storm will not save you in that situation. Mikey J looking for a play, just applying pressure on the top lane, is going to go on to Zig, denying some damage with the Reflect, but Mikey J doesn't even need to use the Undying Rage. and will just delete Mel off of the map. Meanwhile, Skeptic Wave, Vesuvius, and Mikosha are all there. Mikey J popping the Undying Rage. Beans here for a little bit of support, waiting for Solozak to get in there, and he's just going to be able to free fire. This is a slaughter from Solozak right now. So much damage coming through. HBTX providing some support, and this is going to be an ace for Miami University on the map. They're just going to charge in and delete this base.
Yeah, 34-8 in the kill department. A 18K gold lead. Utter dominance here from Miami in game 2. A replay here. You see the Mordekaiser able to find Mikey J, unfortunately, here with the claw of death there, but Solozak just free firing onto it, able to get off the Mordekaiser. And now HBTX coming in to support the rest of the team, make it 9-0 and 11. Now 10-0 and 11 as we go back to the live feed, but that should be the rest of the game. Miami really just playing with their food. 35-8. Again, cutting through BGSU like butter. Absolutely phenomenal performance from Miami. Miami just, I mean, what can you say after that one?
What can you say?
I feel horrible for the Mordekaiser. That was just punishing.
Yeah.
Honestly, bullying of the top lane. You get counterpicked. You get all of your topside champs banned out. What else happens? Oh, you get ganked probably 6-7 times by an Evelyn that's recently buffed.
You aggressively flash, don't get the kill, and then get ganked 2 seconds later. What just a brutal game.
And your
Wave.
jungler's just like, what can I do?
Absolutely
nothing. No, Diana wasn't even there for any phase of that top side performance. So I feel bad there. But that's what Miami's game plan was, and it worked to perfection. It got them extremely far behind. And HBTX once again, I think we continue to say their name because they are what really is the big driving force in a lot of these early game advantages. They're an aggressive jungler. They take camps from other junglers aggressively. They steal your blue buffs. They steal your red buffs if you have them up. Yeah, looking back at that game 1, you have to smite the red buff there.
Yeah, no, if you're Vesuvius,
if you're the Amumu,
yeah, you're clicking D.
You have to click it. But for the other game, I honestly don't know what BGSU could have done.
No,
it's that was a rough draft for them in perspective, and I really liked Miami's draft at the end all be all.
Yeah, that game 2 was a super dominant performance from Miami University, especially HBTX and Mikey J. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see those 8 minutes from game 1, but man, I have a feeling it looks something like that game 2 for him. It was just a slaughter up in the top lane.
I'm thinking in my head when I go back to that game 1, it had to be around the Otacon fight because we didn't get to see Otacon
right
in that game 1 when we lost those 8 minutes. So I have to assume that a fight was forced around there, and maybe Mikey J got back into the game there too. But it is pretty incredible what this roster has been able to do. A 4-0 start to the season, looking to make it 5 on Saturday. Again, we have League of Legends coming up this weekend against Akron, the University of Akron Zips. We're going to be playing them here at 3 p.m. EST Eastern Time, so don't miss it. Keep our notifications on. We also have some Overwatch ESC action tomorrow against Eastern Michigan. So really exciting stuff. Both teams currently undefeated, and we'll see who is the one that ends up falling first, or if we end up the season really happy and have two undefeated teams heading into our postseason play.
What a dream that
would be. That would be amazing. And so, again, every Wednesday and Saturday, League of Legends. Tuesdays, Overwatch, and sometimes Thursdays, Overwatch. This week is one of those special weeks. So stay tuned. Keep our notifications on. You can follow us on our Twitter, Instagram at RedHawksGG, where we post pretty frequently. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in and supporting the Redhawks tonight. Miami increases their record to 4-0, remaining undefeated. We will see you this weekend.